Hello, my dear friend. Welcome to the VUS Learning English podcast. My name is Anna, and I am so happy you are here with me today. If this is your first time listening, welcome. I am so glad you found our little corner of the world. And if you are a returning listener, thank you for coming back. It feels like meeting an old friend again. Today we have a very special topic. It is a topic about learning, and it is a topic about remembering. Do you ever feel like you study for a long time? Maybe you study English for many hours. You read, you listen, you write, and you feel good. You feel like you learned a lot. But then the next morning you wake up and you try to remember. But the information is gone. It feels like it disappeared. It can feel like your brain is a cup with a little hole in it. You pour the water in, but the water slowly drips out. This feeling can be very sad. It can make you feel frustrated. You might think, my memory is not good, or I am not smart enough. But I want to tell you a secret. This is not true. You are smart. Your memory is good. The problem is not you. The problem is the way we learn. Our brain is very, very smart. It is always working to help us. It tries to be efficient. That means it tries to save energy. So if the brain thinks something is not important, it lets it go. It discards it. It's like cleaning your room. You keep the important things. You throw away the things you do not need. Your brain does this with information. So, our job is to show our brain what is important. We need to tell our brain, hey, please keep this. This is special. But how do we do that? What if I told you there's a beautiful way to learn? A way that works with your brain, not against it? A way that feels kind and gentle, not hard and stressful. Today we are going to talk about a very special routine. It comes from students in Japan, and it helps them remember everything. This is not a magic trick. It is a system, a beautiful, simple system that you can use too. We will learn how to make our memory strong, and we will do it together. I am so happy to share this with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy our time together, please think about following or subscribing to our podcast. It is a small click for you, but it helps our podcast grow. It helps us reach more English learners around the world. And I have a little question for you today. Where are you listening from? Are you in Vietnam, or maybe Korea, or Brazil, or somewhere else in this big, beautiful world? You can write a comment and tell me. I love to imagine where all my friends are. It makes me feel connected to you. Okay, are you ready? Let's begin. Imagine you're a student in Japan. You have a very big challenge. A very big task. You need to learn something called Joyo Kanji. Kanji are special characters. They are used in the Japanese writing system, and they are very complex. They have many lines and shapes. And students in Japan need to learn over 2,100 of them. 2,136 to be exact. Wow, that is a huge number. It sounds almost impossible, right? But they do it. Millions of students do it. And they don't just learn them for a test. They don't just memorize them for one day. They learn them for life. They learn to read them. They learn to write them. They learn to use them every single day. It seems like they have a super memory, a superhuman power. But their secret is not a special brain. And it is not about studying for more and more hours. Their secret is a rhythm, like a beautiful song or a gentle dance. It is a routine, a special way of living and learning each day. This routine is very old. It is part of the culture in Japan. And now modern science shows us why it works so well. It works perfectly with our brain's natural biology. It respects how our brain likes to learn. It is not magic. It is a system. A system with clear, simple steps. And in this podcast episode, I am going to share this system with you. I will break down every single step. So you can learn this rhythm too. You can learn how to remember everything. Let's learn this beautiful dance of learning together. Section 1. The Foundation, a culture of smart learning. Before we learn the steps of the routine, we need to understand the idea behind it, the foundation. It is like building a house. Before you build the walls, you need a strong foundation. The foundation of this learning system is a beautiful idea from Japan. This idea is called Kaizen. Kaizen. Kaizen means continuous improvement. It means change for the better. But here's the important part. Kaizen is not about big changes. It is not about making huge, dramatic, sudden changes. No, Kaizen is about making small improvements, tiny improvements, every single day. Imagine you want to climb a big mountain. If you look at the top, it feels impossible. It is so high. It is so far away. But what if you only focus on one step? Just one small step. You take that step. Then you take another small step. And another. Each step is easy. Each step is small. But if you keep taking small steps every day after some time, you will be at the top of the mountain. This is Kaizen. Small, consistent, daily improvements. This idea is used for everything in Japan, in business, in life, and especially in learning. Instead of trying to study for 8 hours in one day, which is very overwhelming for the brain, the Kaizen way is to study for a small amount of time every day. This builds a habit, a small, sustainable habit, a habit that you can continue for a long, long time. And these small habits add up. They compound over time. It's like planting a small seed. You give it a little water every day. You make sure it has a little sun. At first, you see nothing, but you keep doing it. A little water, a little sun. And one day, a small green leaf appears and it grows, slowly, day by day, until it becomes a big, strong tree. This is the Kaizen philosophy. It is about making the process feel easy, so you never want to stop. Now think about how many of us study. In the West, we often do the opposite. We treat our brain like a computer. We try to download a lot of information very fast. We have a big test tomorrow, so we stay up all night. We drink coffee. We feel panicked. We try to force all the information into our brain. We call this cramming. And then what happens? The next day, we feel tired. And after the test, we forget almost everything. This is because we are fighting our brain. The Kaizen approach understands something very important. The brain is not a machine to be forced. The brain is a garden to be cultivated. A garden needs care. It needs the right conditions. It needs good timing. You cannot shout at a seed and tell it to grow faster. It will not work. You have to nurture it. You have to give it what it needs, when it needs it. This entire Japanese learning system is built on this beautiful idea. It is about creating the perfect environment for knowledge to grow. Gently, day after day. It is about respecting your brain, respecting its natural rhythms. Our brain has a rhythm for focus, a rhythm for rest, and a rhythm for remembering. The students who learn this way do not just study harder, they study smarter. They have a rhythm for the morning, they have a rhythm for the afternoon, and they have a rhythm for the night. Each part of the day has a special job in the memory process. So, are you ready to learn the first part of this rhythm? Let's start with the morning, the beginning of the day. Perhaps the most important part. Section 2. The morning ritual. Priming your brain for genius. How you start your day is very important. It sets the tone for the whole day. It decides how well your brain will work for the next many hours. Let's think about a common morning in the Western world. The alarm clock rings. Maybe you hit the snooze button again and again. Then you wake up in the dark, you reach for your phone, you start scrolling, looking at news or social media. Then you feel rushed. You quickly get ready and run out the door. From a brain science perspective, this is not a good way to start. It is like trying to start a car in the wrong gear. It makes the brain feel groggy, slow, and unfocused. The Japanese routine we are learning about is the opposite. It is a series of calm, deliberate actions. Actions designed to prepare the brain, to prime the brain for learning, to make it ready to absorb new information. Let's learn the steps. Step 1. Greet the sun. This is the very first step. Before you open a book, before you check your phone, the first step is to get natural light. Many students in Japan walk to school, so they get sunlight naturally in the morning. Or they might simply open their window. They might stand by the window and do some gentle stretches. This is not just a nice way to start the day. It is a very important signal for your body and brain. Our bodies have an internal clock. It is called the circadian rhythm. This clock tells us when to be sleepy and when to be awake. When your eyes see natural morning light, it sends a message to your brain. The message is, "Good morning, it's time to wake up." Your brain then stops making a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin is the sleep hormone. It makes you feel sleepy. And at the same time, your brain releases another hormone called cortisol. Sometimes cortisol is called the stress hormone. But in the morning, a little bit of cortisol is very good. It is like a natural cup of coffee. It helps you feel alert. It helps you feel focused. Getting morning sunlight resets your body's clock for the day. It helps you have good energy all day long. Now think about starting your day with your phone. The light from a phone screen is a harsh blue light. It does not give your brain the same clear signal. It can leave you feeling groggy and unfocused. So the first step is simple. Greet the sun. Open your curtains, look outside. If you can, step outside for a few minutes. It is like pressing a reset button for your brain. It tells your brain, today is a new day. It's time to be sharp. It's time to be ready. Try it tomorrow morning. You will feel the difference. Shh. Step 2, move your body, awaken your mind. Okay, so you have greeted the sun. Your brain is starting to wake up. What is the next step? The next step is not a hard workout. You don't need to go to the gym for an hour. It is about light, gentle movement. A brisk 10-minute walk is perfect. Just walking around your neighborhood. Or you can do some simple stretches in your room, reaching your arms up to the sky. touching your toes, gently moving your body. The goal is simple. Get your blood flowing. Think of your brain like a beautiful, powerful engine. An engine needs fuel to work. What is the fuel for our brain? Oxygen and nutrients. And how do these things get to our brain? Through our blood. When you move your body, your heart pumps a little faster. Your blood flows more quickly through your body. This means more blood, more oxygen, and more nutrients are delivered to your brain. And this helps a special part of your brain called the hippocampus. The hippocampus is very, very important for learning and memory. It is like the brain's memory manager. So when you do some light exercise in the morning, you are feeding your hippocampus. You are giving it the fuel it needs to work well. Science has shown this. Studies have found that even light exercise can significantly boost our ability to remember things. So this gentle awakening of your body is also a direct awakening of your mind. It is not about getting tired. It is about feeling energized, ready for the day. So after you greet the sun, move your body for just 10 minutes. It is a small step, but it makes a big difference. Step 3. The power of yesterday. Recall, don't review. This next step is very important, and it is very different from how most people study. Let's imagine you are starting a study session. You are going to learn more English today. What do most people do first? They open their notebook from yesterday, and they reread their notes. Okay, yesterday I learned these words and this grammar rule. They read it again and again. This is called passive review. Passive means you are just receiving the information. You are not doing much work. The Japanese method suggests something much more powerful. It suggests you do the opposite. Before you look at any notes, before you introduce any new information, you take a few minutes to actively recall what you learned the day before. What does actively recall mean? It means you test yourself. Close your book, put your notes away, and ask yourself questions. What did I learn yesterday? What were the most important ideas? How would I explain this to a friend? What were those 5 new vocabulary words? This is not a passive look. It is an active search inside your memory. You are forcing your brain to find the information, to pull it out. This is a famous learning technique. It is called active recall. And science shows it is one of the best ways to learn. One of the most powerful learning strategies in the world. Why is it so powerful? When you passively reread your notes, something tricky happens. Your brain sees the words and thinks, "Oh, I know this. This looks familiar." This feeling of familiarity is dangerous. It is an illusion of mastery, an illusion of knowing. You feel like you know it, but you have not actually practiced remembering it. Think of it like this. Imagine a path in a forest. If you only look at a map of the path, you feel like you know it. But if you actually walk the path without the map, you are creating the path. You are making it stronger. Active recall is like walking the path. Every time you successfully remember something, you are strengthening the neural connection in your brain. You are making the memory path stronger and clearer. So in the morning, start your learning day with active recall. Before you learn today's lesson, you make yesterday's lesson stronger. You are reinforcing yesterday's knowledge. You are building a stronger foundation before you add more on top. This is a game changer. It can feel a little difficult at first, but it is the heavy lifting that makes your memory muscles strong. Step 4, the ritual of readiness. We have come to the final step of the morning routine. You have greeted the sun. You have moved your body. You have practiced active recall. Now your brain is almost ready. The last step is to create a small, quiet ritual. This idea of ritual is very important in Japanese culture. It is about doing small, simple actions with intention and focus. This ritual is like a signal to your brain. It is a clear line that says, the time for distraction is over. It is now time to focus. What can this ritual be? It can be anything that is calm and meaningful to you. It could be mindfully making a cup of tea, feeling the warmth of the cup, smelling the aroma of the tea, watching the steam rise. It could be cleaning your desk, putting everything in its place, creating a clean, simple, minimalist space to work. A clear desk can lead to a clear mind. Or it could be just sitting down and taking a few deep breaths, breathing in slowly, and breathing out slowly. These small actions are very powerful. They change your mental state. Think about it. If you rush to your desk feeling stressed and chaotic, you bring that chaos to your learning. You are telling your brain that this learning time is just more noise, more stress. And the brain does not like to store information when it feels stressed. But if you start with a calm, quiet ritual, you are creating a sense of peace, a sense of intention. You are telling your brain what we are about to do now is important. It deserves our full attention. The brain is more likely to remember information it thinks is important. So, this morning routine is not a race. It is not about speed. It is a strategic process, a gentle alignment of your biology and your psychology. Light, movement, recall, and stillness. With these 4 steps, you are preparing the soil of your mind, making it perfect for planting new seeds of knowledge. And now you are ready to learn. Section 3. The afternoon rhythm, the art of smart studying. The morning was for preparing the brain. Now the afternoon is for the main work, the deep, focused learning. But again, the approach is very different from what many of us are used to. It is not about brute force. It is not about sitting at your desk for 4 or 5 hours without stopping. That method is a recipe for burnout. It leads to exhaustion. Our brains are not designed for hours and hours of nonstop focus. It is just not how they work. A smarter way is to respect the brain's natural rhythm. And the brain's rhythm is not a straight line. It is a wave. It goes up and then it goes down. The afternoon routine is about working with this wave. It emphasizes a rhythm of focused effort, followed by deliberate rest. Let's learn the afternoon steps. Step 5, the focus protocol. Instead of one long marathon study session, it is much more effective to work in shorter, focused bursts. A very famous pattern for this is called the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro is the Italian word for tomato. The creator of this technique used a kitchen timer that looked like a tomato. The idea is very simple. You work with intense focus for 25 minutes. And then you take a short break for 5 minutes. That is one cycle. One Pomodoro. 25 minutes of focus. 5 minutes of rest. You can change the timing to what feels good for you. Maybe you prefer 40 minutes of focus and a 10-minute break. That is perfectly fine. The principle is the same. Work in focused blocks, then rest. Why does this work so well? Because it mirrors our brain's natural attention cycles. Our brain can maintain high focus for a certain period, and then its ability to focus naturally dips. It goes down. Usually, what do we do when we feel that dip? We try to fight it. We use our willpower. We say, no, I must keep focusing. This is very draining. It uses a lot of mental energy. This method is smarter. Instead of fighting the dip, you work with it. During the focus block, the 25 minutes, your focus must be total, absolute. This means no phone, no social media, no distractions, just you and your learning task. Then when the timer rings, you stop. Even if you are in the middle of something, you yield, you let go, and you rest. This cycle of focus and rest is incredibly powerful. It keeps your mind fresh. It helps you study for longer without feeling so tired. It is like lifting weights. You lift for a short time, then you rest. You don't try to hold the weight for an hour. Learning is exercise for your brain. Give it moments to rest. Step 6. The genius break. What you do during your break is just as important as the focus time. A 5-minute break is not for checking your email. It is not for scrolling through social media. Why not? Because that is not real rest for your brain. It is just flooding your brain with more information, new things to process, new things to think about. A true genius break, a smart break, is about resetting your mind. It is about letting your mind be quiet for a moment. So, what can you do during your 5-minute break? You can get up and walk around the room. You can do some simple stretches. Roll your shoulders, stretch your neck. You can get a glass of water. Or you can simply close your eyes and focus on your breath for a few moments. These simple actions might feel unproductive. You might think, I am not doing anything, but your brain is doing amazing work in the background. It is being very busy. During these short breaks, your brain is organizing the information you just learned. It is like a librarian quietly putting books back on the shelves in the right order. This is a very early stage of memory consolidation. Memory consolidation is the process of making memories stable and strong. So those little breaks are not wasted time. They are a crucial part of the learning process. Respect your breaks. Use them to truly rest your mind. And you will come back to your next focus session feeling refreshed and ready. Step 7. Fuel your focus, don't drown it. Let's talk about lunch. What you eat in the middle of the day has a huge effect on your afternoon. Have you ever eaten a very big, heavy lunch? Maybe with a lot of sugar, like a sweet drink and dessert. How did you feel about an hour later? Probably sleepy, foggy. Your brain felt slow. It was hard to concentrate. This happens because a heavy, sugary meal causes your blood sugar to spike. It goes up very fast, but then it crashes. It goes down very fast. And that crash is what makes you feel tired and unable to focus. In Japanese culture, midday meals are often much lighter. A typical meal might have some rice, some fish, and some vegetables. This kind of meal provides steady, slow-release energy. It is like putting a slow-burning log on a fire. It provides warmth and energy for a long time. A sugary meal is like putting paper on a fire. It flares up very brightly for a moment, and then it is gone. So think of your food as fuel for your brain. You want to choose high quality, long burning fuel. This does not mean you cannot enjoy your food. It just means being mindful, being aware of how different foods make you feel. Choose foods that give you sustained energy so you can stay sharp and focused all afternoon. Step 8. Micro-mindfulness resets. Okay, you are in a 25-minute focus block. You are working hard. But even in this short time, sometimes your mind can start to drift. You can feel a little bit of mental fatigue. There's a wonderful little trick to help with this. I call it a micro-mindfulness reset. It is a tiny, tiny pause. An instant pause to reset your attention? It only takes a second. What could it be? It could be taking one single deep conscious breath. Just one. Breathing in and breathing out. It could be a quick posture check. Are you slouching? Sit up straight. Roll your shoulders back. This sends a signal of alertness to your brain. It could be looking away from your screen for a moment and looking at something far away, like a tree outside your window. This helps to relax your eyes. These micropauses are like a circuit breaker for your brain. When you feel your focus is getting overloaded, you just flip the switch for 1 second. It is a tiny reset. It allows you to keep your mind sharp without breaking your flow. You can do it many times during a focus session. So the afternoon is about this beautiful rhythm, a dance between effort and rest, focus and calm. It is not about forcing your brain. It is about creating the best conditions for it to work at its peak. I hope you are feeling a shift in how you think about studying. I hope you feel encouraged. It is not about being perfect. It is about being kind to your brain. We are learning so much together, and we are only halfway through. The next part is very exciting. We are going to learn the techniques for actually making information stick. How to make it truly unforgettable. Let's continue. Section 4. The ancient techniques. How to memorize anything. So far, we have built the perfect daily routine. We have prepared the brain in the morning. We have created a rhythm for smart studying in the afternoon. Now we need to answer a very important question. During those 25-minute focus blocks, what do you actually do to make the information stick in your memory? How do you learn complex things and remember them? Let's go back to the challenge of learning Japanese kanji. Over 2,000 complex characters. This huge challenge led to the development of very powerful memory techniques. Techniques that are based on structure, imagination, and mindfulness. And the wonderful news is, these techniques are not just for learning a language. You can use them to learn anything: history, science, music, and of course, English. Let's learn these powerful techniques. Step 9. Deconstruct to reconstruct. The radical method. Let's look at a single kanji character. At first, it can look like a random jumble of lines. It can look very complex and impossible to remember. But there is a secret. The secret is to see the character not as one big thing, but as a collection of smaller, simpler parts. These small parts are called radicals. There are about 214 common radicals in Japanese, and each radical has its own meaning. Let's take the example from the original script. The kanji character for bright. It is pronounced May. The character is Ming. It might look complicated, but it is actually made of two simple radicals. The radical on the left, this is the radical for sun. The radical on the right, this is the radical for moon. So the character for bright is literally sun and moon together. Suddenly, it is not a random shape anymore. It is a logical picture, a little story. The sun and the moon together make things bright. This is so much easier to remember. This method is called deconstruction. You take something complex and you break it down into its smallest meaningful parts. And guess what? You can use this for any subject. Let's think about learning English vocabulary. Sometimes you see a long, difficult word. For example, the word unfriendly. Don't just try to memorize the whole word. Deconstruct it. Break it down. The word has three parts: un, friend, lie. Friend is a word you know. It means a person you like. Un is a prefix. It often means not, like happy and unhappy. Lie is a suffix. It often turns a word into an adjective or adverb. So unfriendly means not like a friend. Someone who is not kind or warm. See? You took a big word and broke it into small logical parts. Now you don't just memorize the word, you understand it. And what you understand, you remember. You can do this for anything. A big historical event? Break it down into the people, the places, and the reasons. A complex grammar rule? Break it down into small, simple examples. Always ask yourself, can I break this down into smaller pieces? This is the first step to deep learning. Deconstruct to understand. Then you can reconstruct it in your mind. Step 10, the story engine, mnemonics and vivid imagery. Our brain is not very good at remembering abstract facts. Dry, boring information is difficult for our brain to hold on to. For example, if I tell you the German word for chair is Stuhl, it is just a fact. It might be hard to remember. But our brain is a master at remembering something else. Our brain is a master at remembering stories and vivid pictures. Think about your favorite movie. You can probably remember the characters, the story, and many scenes very clearly. This is because stories and images create strong connections in our brain. They involve emotions and senses. So smart learners in Japan and all over the world learn to turn dry information into interesting stories. This technique is called mnemonics. mnemonics. The M is silent. A mnemonic is any trick that helps you remember something, and stories are one of the best kinds of mnemonics. Let's use the example of the planets in our solar system. You need to remember their order from the sun: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. That's hard to remember. It is just a list of names. Now let's turn it into a silly story. A mnemonic sentence. My very eager mother just served us noodles. The first letter of each word is the same as the first letter of each planet. My, Mercury, very, Venus eager, Earth mother, Mars, and so on. This silly sentence is almost impossible to forget. The key is to make your story or image as vivid and as strange as possible. The more emotional, funny, or absurd it is, the better it will stick in your memory. Your brain loves things that are unusual. Let's use another example. Let's say you want to remember that the capital of Australia is Canberra. Many people think it is Sydney. This is a boring fact. So, let's make a vivid mental movie. Imagine a giant can of berries, a huge can of strawberries and blueberries. Now imagine this giant can of berries is balancing on top of the famous Sydney Opera House. It's wobbling. Berries are falling into the water. Canberra. Can of berries. It is a silly, crazy image. But now when you think capital of Australia, you will see that crazy picture, and you will remember Canberra. You have just turned a boring fact into an unforgettable mental movie. You can do this for anything. Learning a new English word? Create a funny story or image that connects the word's sound to its meaning. Be creative. Be silly. You are the director of your own mental movies. Use this powerful story engine to make learning fun and effective. Step 11. The forgetting curve. Killers. Spaced repetition. Okay. You have deconstructed the information. You understand it. You have created a vivid story. You have made it memorable. But you can still forget it. Why? Because of something called the forgetting curve. A scientist named Hermann Ebbinghaus discovered this over 100 years ago. He found that when we learn something new, we forget it very, very quickly if we don't review it. We forget it exponentially fast. This means you might forget 50% of what you learned within just one day. And after a week, maybe you only remember 10%. This can feel very discouraging, but don't worry. There is a secret to beating the forgetting curve. The secret is called spaced repetition. What does this mean? Let's imagine you learn a new word today. The word is ubiquitous, which means present everywhere. A bad way to learn this is cramming. You repeat the word 20 times tonight. Ubiquitous, ubiquitous, ubiquitous. Tomorrow you will probably forget it. A much smarter way is to use spaced repetition. This means you review the information at increasing intervals of time. The intervals get longer and longer. It looks like this. You learn the word ubiquitous on day 1. You review it again tomorrow, day 2. This is the first space, a short space. Then you review it again in a few days, maybe day 5. The space is getting longer. Then you review it again in a week, maybe day 12. The space is even longer. Then maybe in a month, and so on. What is happening here? You are strategically interrupting the forgetting curve. Just at the moment when you are about to forget the information, you see it again. This sends a powerful signal to your brain. The signal is, hey, this information is important. I keep seeing it. I should hold on to this. Each time you review at these spaced intervals, the memory gets stronger and stronger. It moves from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. It's like telling your brain, please don't throw this away. This is one of the important things. How can you do this? You can make your own flashcards and create a schedule. Or there are amazing apps that do this for you. They are called spaced repetition systems, or SRS. Apps like Anki or Quizlet or others. You put the information in and the app automatically tells you when to review each item. It is an incredibly powerful tool for learning vocabulary, facts, or anything you need to memorize. Spaced repetition is the killer of the forgetting curve. It is the secret to making memories last a lifetime. Step 12. The output obligation. Active recall. We talked about this a little bit in the morning routine, but it is so important. It is also a key technique for studying. Learning should not be a one-way street. It should not just be about putting information into your brain. That is passive consumption, like watching TV. Things like rereading a chapter, rewatching a lecture, or highlighting sentences. These are all very passive. They give you that dangerous feeling of familiarity. I recognize this, so I must know it. But this is often not true. Effective learning is about output. It is about being obligated or required to produce the information from your brain. It is about pulling information out of your brain. So when you are in your study blocks, you should always be trying to do this. How? Constantly test yourself. After you read a page in a book, close the book and try to summarize the main points in your own words. Write it down or say it out loud. Try to explain the concept you just learned, but explain it in a very, very simple way. Imagine you are teaching it to a 5-year-old child. This is a famous method called the Feynman technique. If you can't explain something simply, you probably don't understand it well enough yet. For learning kanji, students don't just look at the character and recognize it. They practice writing it from memory. That is output. That is active recall. For learning English, you can do the same. Don't just read a list of new words. Try to use each word in a sentence. Write a short story using the new words. Every time you force yourself to produce the information without looking at the answer, you are building and strengthening the memory pathways in your brain. You are making the memory stronger, and you are making it easier to find later. So make this your new rule. Focus more on output than on input. Always be testing. Always be creating. This is the heart of effective, active learning. Section 5. The evening wind down, locking in your learning. The day of learning is finished. You have worked hard. You have studied smart. For many people, this is when they completely switch off from learning. They watch TV, play games, or scroll on their phones until they fall asleep. This is a huge wasted opportunity. The evening and the time when you sleep is one of the most important phases for your memory. This is when memory consolidation happens. Remember that word? Consolidation. It is the process where your brain decides what to keep and what to throw away from the day. It is like a librarian at night, organizing all the books that came in during the day. Some books are put on the long-term shelves. Others are put in the recycling bin. Your brain does this while you rest and sleep. So we can use a few simple evening rituals to help our brain, to guide the librarian, to tell our brain which books are the most important to keep. Let's learn the final steps of our daily rhythm. Step 13, the 10-minute memory signal. Just before you start to relax for the night, maybe an hour before you plan to go to sleep, do a very brief, very light review of the most important things you learned today. This is not another study session. It is not intense. It should not feel like work. It should be a quick 10-minute scan. You can look at the summary you wrote. You can quickly look at your key flashcards. You can read the main headings of the chapter you studied. The purpose of this is to send a clear signal to your brain. You are saying to your brain, hello, of all the thousands of things that happened today, all the conversations, all the things I saw, all the thoughts I had, this is what I want you to remember. This information is the priority. It is like putting a special, bright, colorful tag on the most important books for the librarian. When you go to sleep, your brain replays and processes the experiences of the day. By touching on the key information right before this period of rest, you make it much more likely that your brain will work on strengthening and consolidating those specific memories during the night. It is a very simple, very powerful technique. A 10-minute review to guide your memory-making process while you sleep. Just keep it light and quick. It is a gentle reminder, not a test. Step 14. The sanctity of sleep. I cannot say this enough. Quality sleep is not a luxury for a learner. It is a necessity. It is an essential part of the learning process. Sleep is when the magic of memory consolidation truly happens. Our sleep has different stages. During deep sleep, your brain works on strengthening facts, concepts, and knowledge, the things you learned from a book. And during another stage called REM sleep, your brain works on other kinds of memories like skills and emotional memories. If you do not get enough quality sleep, you are robbing your brain of this critical time to save your learning. It is like you studied all day and then you threw away all your notes before your brain could organize them. So, good sleep hygiene is very, very important. What does that mean? It means creating good habits for sleeping. One of the most important habits is to dim the lights about an hour before you go to bed. This tells your brain it is time to start producing melatonin, the sleep hormone. And it is very important to turn off screens. Your phone, your tablet, your computer, your TV. The blue light from these screens is very bad for sleep. It tricks your brain into thinking it is still daytime. It stops the production of melatonin. So every late night scroll through social media is actively sabotaging the hard work you put in during the day. You are making it harder for your brain to remember. So protect your sleep. Make your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Treat your sleep as the final, most important step of your learning day. Step 15, the Kaizen close. Remember the big idea we started with? Kaizen, small, continuous improvements. We can end our day with this beautiful principle. End your day with one final, tiny, positive action related to your learning. Again, this is not about cramming. This is not about hard work. This is about building momentum. It is about reinforcing the habit of being a daily learner. What could this tiny action be? It could be as simple as writing out one single flashcard for tomorrow, just one. It could be jotting down one question you have about what you learned today. It could be writing one sentence that summarizes the most important idea of the day. This tiny act does two wonderful things. First, it makes the habit of daily learning even stronger. Second, it ends your day on a note of gentle success. It is a tiny win. It sends a positive message to your brain. We did it. We made progress today, and we will do it again tomorrow. This helps you wake up the next day feeling motivated and ready, not discouraged. It is the Kaizen way. Small positive steps every single day. Step 16, the art of Ma, embracing the quiet. Finally, we have the last ritual of the day. The day can end not with a rush of information, but with a pause, a moment of stillness. In Japanese aesthetics, there's a beautiful concept called Ma. Ma. It is a bit difficult to translate directly into English. It can mean gap, space, or pause. It is the empty space in a room that makes the furniture look beautiful. It is the silence between the notes that makes music beautiful. It is the pause in a conversation that gives the words meaning. Ma is the beauty of the empty space, the power of the pause. We can apply this beautiful principle to the end of our day. After you have done your final review, after you have put your phone away, embrace a few moments of quiet before you close your eyes to sleep. No phone, no TV, no book. Just a moment of stillness. You can sit on the edge of your bed. You can just lie down and do nothing for a minute. This is a moment to let your mind transition, to move from the busyness and stimulation of the day to a state of calm and restoration. This quiet pause helps to calm your nervous system. It prepares your mind for the deep, restorative sleep it needs. The sleep it needs to lock in all the wonderful things you learned today. So end your day with the art of Ma. End with a beautiful, quiet pause. So, my dear friend, we have learned a lot together today. What is this powerful Japanese method for remembering everything? As we have seen, it is not one single trick. It is not a quick fix. It is a rhythm. It is a holistic system, a complete way of living and learning. It is a system inspired by wise cultural principles, principles that honor the way our brains are naturally designed to work. Let's gently summarize the beautiful rhythm we learned. It begins in the morning with intention. We use light, movement, active recall, and a quiet ritual to prepare our brain for learning. It continues in the afternoon with a smart rhythm. We study in focused blocks. We take truly restorative breaks, and we fuel our brain with good energy. It uses powerful techniques to make information stick. We deconstruct complex ideas to understand them. We create vivid stories to make them memorable. We use spaced repetition to fight the forgetting curve. And we focus on output and active recall to build strong memories. And it ends in the evening with consolidation. We use a final, gentle review. We prioritize deep, restorative sleep. And we embrace quiet to lock in our knowledge for the long term. What this beautiful system shows us is a deep respect. A respect for process. A respect for discipline. And a respect for the wisdom of working with nature, not against it. Working with our brain, not against it. Now, you might be thinking, wow, Anna, that is a lot of steps. And you are right. But please, do not feel overwhelmed. Remember the most important principle of all, Kaizen. Small, continuous improvements. You do not have to do everything all at once. You do not have to change your entire life overnight. Just try one thing. Just choose one small step to begin. Maybe tonight before you sleep, you can try the 10-minute gentle review. Maybe tomorrow morning when you wake up, just step outside for 5 minutes and greet the sun. Don't even look at your phone. The next day, maybe you can try one 25-minute focus block. Just one. Do not try to be perfect. Just try to take one small step. If you do this, I promise you will begin to feel a difference. Your brain, which was fighting against your old methods, will start to work for you. It will feel like you have a new partner in learning. And that feeling of frustration will begin to fade away. It will be replaced by a quiet confidence, a feeling of calm progress. Because the secret to a powerful memory is not a secret at all. It does not belong to special people who study the hardest. It belongs to those who study the smartest. It belongs to those who are kind to their brains. And now, it belongs to you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It was a real joy to share these ideas with you. Remember, learning is a journey. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Every small step you take is a victory. Celebrate your small wins. You are capable of amazing things. I truly believe that. Thank you again for listening. Your presence here means the world to me. If this episode was helpful, please consider leaving a comment or giving it a like. It helps me know what you enjoy, and it helps other learners find our podcast. Keep going, keep learning, keep being your wonderful self. I will be back soon with another episode for you. Until then, take care. See you next time, my friend.